So I woke up 3:17 a.m. My body was tired, but my mind was wide awake. Not because something happened, just my typical late night worries, money, will we be okay later, family, the ones I love and the things I can't fix for them. I know what Jesus said, don't worry about tomorrow. And so I'm lying there thinking, Lord, I do believe you, so why is my mind running in circles? That's the part I don't like admitting out loud. Because on paper, retirement is supposed to be the time when you can relax. Now, the house is pretty quiet at 3:17 a.m. So my mind fills the space. And because I'm an introvert, I don't talk it out. I carry it around. I'll look calm, I'll make the coffee, I'll do the normal things, but inside, I'm running the numbers, replaying conversations, scanning the horizon. So today I'm not trying to give anybody a neat little answer. I just want to tell my truth about the tension I'm living with. I trust Jesus, but I still wake up at 3:17 sometimes worrying. And what's strange is the worry doesn't always show up when something is wrong, when something's happening. Sometimes it shows up when everything is okay. That's what makes it so confusing. I can have a good day, a great day, a normal day. Nothing bad happened, no scary phone call. And still, there it is. And I think part of it is this: I'm grateful, but I'm also afraid of losing what I'm grateful for. Money can do that to you. Even when the bills are paid, it can whisper, yeah, but what about later? And family can do that too, because the more you love people, the more you realize just how little you control, how little you really can do for them. So when Jesus says, don't worry about tomorrow, I don't hear it as a scolding. I feel it more like a guiding hand on my shoulder. And I'll be honest, I don't always respond like a hero. Sometimes my prayer is basically, Jesus, I'm doing that thing again. I'm worrying about a day that I haven't been given yet. And I don't always feel instantly calm. But something shifts when I say it out loud, even just between, me and him. It reminds me I'm not the one holding everything together. So here's what helps pull me back into the here and now: the little blessings all around me, the simple things, a grandkid's smile when I walk into the room, a beautiful sunset that looks more like a painting, squirrel out in the backyard acting like he owns the place, just the trees moving in the breeze. I know this sounds simplistic, but it's very real. And what's happening in those moments isn't me being poetic, it's me being interrupted. Because worry is always pulling me forward into later, into someday. But these ordinary blessings like this keep pulling me back into today, into the here and now. And while retirement is quieter, it gives me more chances to notice those little everyday things if I let it. Sometimes I'll stand on the porch just a little longer than I need to, not doing anything, just watching, listening, receiving. And in a quiet way, those moments feel sacred to me because they remind me God is present in the life I already have, not just the life I'm afraid of losing. Still, even with all that, the question returns sometimes. Okay, but what if something really does happen? What if the money gets really tight? What if someone I love, gets hurt? What if my health changes? What if my wife's health changes? That's where my mind always wants to go. The ordinary moments don't erase the fear, but at least they slow it down long enough for me to remember what's true. When I look back over the life my wife and I have had, there were times where things looked bleak, you know, just some hard times. And I can't always explain how it happened, but somehow Christ always came through for us. Not always in the ways we expected, not always on our timeline, but enough times that it left a trail behind us. It's like that old footprints poem, you know, I carried you here. And when I wake up at 3:17 in the morning and my mind starts racing, I try to remember that trail of footprints because the honest truth is my worries today are about a future that hasn't happened yet. But my faith is built on a past that already did. I've got history with God. Not perfect faith, not a perfect life, but real moments where I didn't know how it would work out. Yet somehow he carried us through. And then there's gratitude. And I want to say this carefully because I'm not pretending life is painless. But if I'm honest, a lot of my worry is basically what if we lose what we have? And that's actually a strange kind of proof that we have a lot. We have a strong marriage, we have family, we have grandkids, we've got food in the fridge, a home over our head, a roof over our head. We've got time together. So here's where I end up. I'm still a worrier sometimes, but I'm also a man who's been carried by faith before. So I'm still learning it, but I'm learning it the slow way, one day at a time. So if you're wide awake at 3:17 in the morning also, you're not strange, you're not weak. You might just be carrying more than you were meant to carry alone by yourself. So I just want to end this video with a simple prayer. Jesus, thank you for today. Help me to live in the day you gave me. When I start borrowing trouble from tomorrow, bring me back and help me notice the gifts you keep placing right in front of me. Amen. All right. Thanks for being here.